typically the ones we refer to as bowed tendons, which is this right here. So bowed tendon means this curve on the back of the leg. As you can imagine, the superficial is the most superficial one, so that's the one you'll see with this bow. Common core lesion we see here. Here's it grossly here on ultrasound, which we'll bring it back to. And it can be quite long. It can be, all the way down the cervical here and there. Deep digital flexor tendon, and I'm just kind of touching on the basics of each one of these here, and then we'll talk about treatment later on. But deep digital flexor tendons, they can be anywhere. They can be higher up for sure, but they're often very commonly down here in the foot. So this is an MRI, and you can see here's the lesion here. Oftentimes you have them way down here. This is lower than you can see on an ultrasound. So this is something we've learned a lot more about once we started MRI here. Check ligament. So there's several ligaments deep to the foot. Can occur by itself, can occur with other things. Remember we talked about, this is the thing, my horse doesn't have any of these check ligaments, so it's not as big a deal usually as some of the other ones. So here it is right here. Superficial here, deep here. Here's the check ligament. Here, in comparison, is the normal side. So much smaller here, much larger up there. Between these arrows, there's a big difference in the area here. So treatment for that, often conservative treatment. We'll talk about what that is later on. But also, you have a comment? But also, if this is something that isn't healing conservatively, you can just cut the ligament itself, and that will often take care of it. Suspensory ligament. So remember we talked about suspensory being a body up high, then splitting into two different branches and inserting on the sesamoids further down. So we break them into a little bit of a different idea whether they're injured proximally versus injured distally. And I'll tell you now, we'll talk about it a little bit later, proximal suspensory on the hind limb is different than any other suspensory injury. So here's a suspensory branch injury that would be taken down here, inserting on the sesamoids. Here's a suspensory body injury. Now, the funny thing about the suspensory here is that it is never as distinct and regular a fiber pattern as, let's say, the superficial or the deep right here. So this is definitely an injured suspensory, but does suspensory look completely like the superficial or the deep in a normal horse? No. What's different about the suspensory ligament? What's it got in it? Well, yeah, that's the anatomy of it. Yeah, but what fiber? Well, they've all got collagen. Muscle. Actually got little bodies of little islands of muscle within that. So it's one of the things you want to ultrasound the other leg and compare because what you may think of as a lesion may just be the normal appearance of that horse's suspensory ligament. Okay, so remember I said hind limb proximal suspensory desmitis, it's like its own thing. Don't consider this the same as like just a random suspensory injury on the forelimb. Not often directly lame. Oftentimes it's kind of a chronic thing. The horse just doesn't seem to have the impulsion anymore, can't jump, can't change leads, just doesn't have power coming from behind. You're not going to feel a lot of swelling or pain on palpation necessarily there. But it's going to be, you're going to feel right underneath the hock and a little bit to the inside. You may have a little bit of pain there, but it's very, very diffuse usually. So poor prognosis with breast. This is one of the things, this is a surgical treatment usually, because conservative treatment doesn't really do a lot. The treatment for it is a neurectomy of the deep branch of the lateral plantar nerve. Okay. So think way back to your nerve blocks. So think about your high 4 points. Okay. What nerves are those? Palmar and Palmar metacarpal. We all had on both sides. All right, so this is the deep branch coming up the lateral into the hind limb, so we say plantar nerve. It's the same kind of nerve we're talking about, but the deep branch specifically is what's going to innervate the proximal suspensory, and that would be the one we cut to do this surgery. differentiate from the last two, is this degenerative suspensory desmitis. Okay, so first thing we have is normal old suspensory injury, just stepped in a hole, had a bad step, random suspensory injury. Then you have hindlimb proximal suspensory desmitis, and then you have degenerative suspensory desmitis. All three things that happen to the suspensories, all entirely different. So this one here tends to be hereditary. This is the one we see a lot in Peruvian Paso, Pasofino type horses. And there's nothing that sets this off necessarily in terms of trauma. This is more of like a systemic disease that is manifested where we see it the most in these hind limbs. So this overabundance of a proteoglycan, decorin, I think that was only discovered a few years ago, so we don't really know everything about why this happens or what's going on here. But we do know now that it's more of a systemic thing, but we see the effects in these hind limbs. So what you see, look at this really deep angle here in the fetlock. Okay, so basically the suspensory is breaking down. Here's this big old mush where there used to be a suspensory branch. And where it's supposed to be keeping or inserting on the sesamoids and keeping that horse standing, it's basically broken down, so this horse is dropping down into the fetlock. All right, this is incurable, really. They're going to continue to get worse, and they're quite uncomfortable and quite painful. So often it is something that ends up as like an end-stage thing that they're euthanized for. But you can try shoeing just to support it. We have this like fishtail shoe here. Basically that places that on the back of the heel and just tries to keep it a little bit supported so it doesn't drop so far, but not a whole lot. All right, annular ligaments. We're moving up the leg now. Remember we talked about a seat that's on. Yeah.
On the last one, is it mostly rear leg?
Yes. So you'll see it on the hind limbs. Why exactly, I don't know. You'll see it maybe a little bit on the forelimbs, but hind limbs is really where you see these things dropping. But they have looked systemically at these horses and found that other ligaments in other places in the body have this effect too. It's just not, the weight, I guess, doesn't make them set that way as the hind limbs.
It's like a common support of this, like fractures or like.
No, just they can rupture. This net specifically. If you're going to see it, you're really going to see the effects here. So they'll just kind of get lower and lower and lower. They can't bust that suspensory entirely. But usually, the end stage of this is really bad lameness because they can't support themselves in the hind limbs.
Yeah, because I was going to say, it doesn't really look like, I feel like bearing all that weight for this kind of.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is this autoimmune?
I don't think so. But I'm, beyond like a few years ago, learning about this step or anything, I think we have a lot of holes that are still there in our knowledge. So the annular ligament, it might be hard on your screens to see. Can you see there's like some red lines across the black here? Okay, so that's where the annular ligament goes. So we talked about tendon sheaths, and there's a tendon sheath that goes like from here all the way down here. So it's a fluid-filled structure, not a lot of fluid usually, but if there's a lot of fluid, you'll see a bulge up here and down here, which you won't see to the back because that's where the annular ligament is, just kind of tightly wrapping in like a seesaw. So this can be a result of a direct injury to the annular ligament. It can have to do with something that goes wrong with the tendon sheath itself, just some, chronic fibrosis and tearing and thickening, and then more inflammation creates more of that. But sometimes it doesn't necessarily cause a big problem. But if this thing gets really thickened on the back there and restricts the tendons, you certainly can see more lameness and more swelling due to it. If it gets bad enough where it's really impinging the other tendons, you can make a small incision and put a viscera knife down there or a couple of bit of tendon, and then transect that ligament. Here's the thing that you don't see very often except for on Natalie. I think I saw one, it was a few years ago. But Natalie loves this, so big flashing red lights here. Remember this for Natalie. So what it is a destruction of the reciprocal apparatus. And if you look at this little diagram here, here's the peroneus tertius. So what the reciprocal apparatus is, remember when we were doing our flexions? How you can't like flex the hock without flexing the stifle, or vice versa, you can't extend without extending. So look at this horse here. Flexing the stifle, extending the hop. Anytime you see this picture, that is not normal, just automatically click peroneus tertius rupture. So if you forget that, you need to look further. They have a little dimple right here, but extending the hop, flexing the stifle, not normal, and then you ripped your peroneus tertius right. So fibrotic myopathy, I've got a video of this next. So it's easier for me to show you the video, but I'll do a walk first. So what it usually happens is that some sort of traumatic injury occurs. Very often the horse falls backwards and like sits down like that and ends up ripping the semitendinosus muscle. So they heal that muscle, not with normal nice elastic muscle, but with scar. Right, so here's how they walk, right? So normal walk is like this, right? I have nice flexibility on like the back of the semitendons. This is a horse, I did it with my right leg, that has a semitendinosus injury that's scarred in, resulting in fibrosis. So normal walk here, and you have this like, yeah. So it's like, come a little further forward or higher, because you have to work to bring that leg forward, and then it's slap it back up. So, what's that?
So it's basically fibrous to where you can't.
Yes, because it's restricted. It's not stretchy anymore, so I have to like pull it forward, and then it quickly snaps it back. So. Oh, and really importantly, walk. This is one of those things that you're going to see more at the walk than at the trot, which is unusual, because most of the stuff we look at is at the trot.
So are these classified as like lameness?
So, lameness is a really general term, which means an abnormal gait. I think what you're asking is it painful? Or is it like just a mechanical thing, right? Maybe, but you should have.
Like, would the owners come in and say like, hey, my horse is lame? Or would you score it on the ABP?
No,
Okay.
you wouldn't really call it on the ABP's way. Yeah, it's one of those things, because where I was going with it is that these horses oftentimes, once they heal, they're not actually painful.
Okay.
It's just a restriction and they move funny. But the word lameness just very generally being an abnormal gait. Yes, it's a lameness, but it's not the same. Your owner might not know what the heck is going on.
Okay.
So, which leg do you think? Yeah, you got it. Yep. Yeah, when it's like an active injury with like, hemorrhage and yes, that's definitely. I mean, you can try, like, a lot of times you don't necessarily want them in the stall anymore. It used to be like, what are the stalls for this one? Remember going back to like, you want something up, it's gonna, become restricted. So sometimes, and there's only so much you can do to stop this, but like, if you do try passive stretches, some motion as the work is doing, it's probably better this time. So did you guys see it trotting there a second ago? Okay, you didn't see it as much, right? Trot. So, so much more at the walk here. Now this guy, may not be tremendously uncomfortable if he's out in the pasture. He's just living his life. He doesn't really care very much.
Does this happen more on horses that have specific, like rodeo horses that rope or something like that, to sit on the haunches?
No, I don't think so, because I think it's more than just kind of using their hind ends for whatever athletic. It's like it has to end up being like a falling down on the hind end. Last one I saw, I think they had like tied the horse up or something and it flipped out and kind of sat back down. It was just like a random horse. So diagnosis, really the gait is like happening on it for us. So this is another good nap that thinks it's like, oh, this is what it is. And, you don't have a whole lot of other options. The other thing you can do, you see this like, what do you call that, crease there? Because the muscle there basically is atrophied but turned to scar. So you get this this crease here, unlike this side over here. And then you feel that, and you will not feel nice, soft, squishy muscle. You'll feel, the muscle, and then right down from it, you'll feel the hard scar. So can't block these guys out. Can't do nerve blocks because they're not necessarily painful. And beyond just knowing which the surgery is, don't worry about how to do the surgery, but, so it's the semitendinosus is usually affected, right there. So here's the semitendinosus coming down, and you would cut the semitendinosus tendon. There used to be other surgeries they're going to mention in your book if you read it, but don't worry about that. Just cut the tendon of the semitendinosus, and it frees it up, so you don't have that restriction anymore. Okay, upward fixation of the patella. And I've got some videos of this too. We have a few things we're going to be talking about: upward fixation of the patella, string halt, that fibrotic myopathy. They're all weird hind limb things that can be confusing and look similar. So be careful when you're watching these videos. You're making sure you're associating with the correct thing and thinking through what's actually happening. And I've got a little chart that has, if you look through that, you can see the differences. So this is called locking cycles, upward fixation of the patella. What happens is that passive stay apparatus that allows the horse to stand there and doze without falling down when he's asleep, it fails to release. Okay, so what helps that horse stand there is that he takes his medial patellar ligament, remember horses have 3, they take the medial one, and they lock it up on top of the medial trochlear ridge of the femur. And that's just normal, that's how they stand there without falling down when they fall asleep. But if that fails to release, it keeps them locked in that position. Okay, so everything's extended, and I can't just take a step and walk off normally. So this is like the position you'll find them in if they're fully locked. Okay, can just be like a slight delay to be permanently fixed up. So just a picture here. So this is normal position. Here's the medial patellar ligament, and then this is once they're locked. This is the trochlear ridge here. And then this ligament here kind of gets stuck on top of it and doesn't pop off. So I think this is my more mild case here on the left. We'll watch this first. Watch the first strides. This horse, I think, starts out locked, and then snaps out of it, and then walks better as he goes, okay? So stuck, and then snaps out of it. And then he's walking reasonably. Oh, he did it again. He snaps, okay? Keep that snap in mind. We're going to differentiate that from string halt. So just keep that little snap in mind. Basically, I have that snap up because it's almost like it just reacts after that ligament falls off. You just get that little extra snap up because they've been trying to do it. But then as he walks, he does better. Whereas this guy, I don't know if he comes out of this at all. So left hind, right? So he's pretty permanently locked there.
So what's the difference between this and the first one we talked about, the one where
Fibrotic myopathy?
where they where they don't where one doesn't flex when the other one extends.
So where the peroneus tertius would have a rupture. So normally the flexion and extension go together. Or flexion and flexion and extension and extension. Now in this, if you look, he's actually extending the hock because he's forced himself into an extension of the cycle, right?
Okay.
So that guy's stuck like that. But all the things are in place that should be there.
Okay.
He's just stuck like that. Now in the peroneus tertius rupture the tendon that allows him to keep flexion with flexion and extension with extension and not cross them. So when you rupture your peroneus tertius, you can extend your flex your cycle and allow yourself to extend your hock, which doesn't happen normally. This horse here, there's no ruptures of anything like that. It's just stuck up in a position it's not supposed to be in. Okay. And it's keeping extension and extension all the time. You just can't flex in it. A lot of this, and not all, but a lot of this upper fixation of the patella is caused by lack of fitness. Like a young horse, horse that isn't fit, doesn't get a lot of exercise, especially when they have a really straight-legged conformation behind. It just predisposes them to get in that position. So we see this a lot in horses that are you know, not in work or just starting work or they're just young growing horses. Best thing you can do is just get them fit. A lot of them will work out of it. Maybe not the one that's like completely stuck in that position, but the one that just occasionally has it. If you make their quadriceps fitter and stronger, they usually will be able to at least improve, if not work out of this entirely. Trotting up and down the hill is really good exercise. Avoiding working in tight circles. People are like, oh, I'm going to lunge my horse again and again and again to get him fit. No, you can't actually lunge him. That's hard on the staple. So really, you need to be out there riding him up and down the hills. Other things like corrective shoeing, blistering the stifles. I'm not a big fan of blistering the stifles, but people do it for the purpose of strengthening or tightening up the ligaments. The idea behind it is that if you inject this irritant into these ligaments, it almost like scars the ligaments, and where they were floppy and not fit, allowing that thing to get up on top of the trochlear ridge, you're now tightening that ligament so it is not floppy enough to get stuck up there. For the most part, this is our go-to now, this first surgery here, if they aren't improving just by becoming fit. So if you've tried all that, the owners put a really good effort into getting the horse fit, and they're still catching, this is the surgery of choice now. So medial patellar ligament splitting, which is what you're seeing here. It's really quite simple. It can be done standing, can be done down, can be done with or without ultrasound guidance. But all you're doing is you're finding that ligament, and this is that medial patellar ligament here. Just the collateral, don't be confused by that. This is the medial patellar ligament. And you're going in with your blade, and you're making little stab incisions into the ligament. And the idea is similar to blistering the stifle. You're angering that ligament, you're going to cause it to scar in and tighten. As it's tighter, it's not going to be floppy and get stuck on top of that